So again, this is another mat work, but we could also do it sitting or standing. But as I'm here on the mat, I'll show you on the mat. So you could think about pelvic floor and navel to spine. And for this one, we're going to do an arm raise. Slowly bring your arm above your head. Doesn't have to come any further than this. Some people are stiff in the shoulders. And this is a good speed. Now, what I'm getting at here is that, as with everything, you can do things engaging your core or not engaging your core. Pelvic floor, navel to spine. If I do an arm raise and I don't engage in my core, my arm is kind of heavy, so there's a tendency from at least this point onwards for it to start to flay my chest and open the ribs, and my pelvis is destabilizing because it's extending my back. I'm going into a back bend, and it's moving my sternum away from my pelvis because of the weight of the arm. There's no muscle support here. And I'll maybe show you on this side. So I pull my arm back, and from at least this point onwards, it tends to stretch my ribs and pull my ribs up and away from my pelvis. So to do this as a core exercise, navel to spine, holding the pelvic floor, be aware of the breathing, and try to maintain stabilization in the rib. So the sternum, the rib cage does not move relative to the prepuce symphysis, relative to the pelvis. It stays at this same distance. The distance does not lengthen. Well, if it does lengthen, just pay attention to that. You may not be able to get your arm quite so far. That's interesting. But it makes you pay attention to the core muscles. That is the object of the exercise, not an arm exercise, but to pay attention to the core muscles, that you are still holding navel to spine, still holding pelvic floor. Again, you can do this at other times, standing or sitting.